Welcome to the Saturday Media Brunch. I'm Rich Lieberman, and we are live on YouTube. Those of you watching now, welcome to the show. Those of you watching at a later date, congratulations. Glad you made the party, and you are here for me and yourself. And you have awesome taste. So let's talk about a little bit of culture, a little media culture. Um, on my Friday post, I put up a posting about New York and WABC, and I was talking about the fact that you have a news talk radio station in New York City that you can fortunately pick up here via the internet, your iPhone or your smartphone, and that basically we have nothing here. We have Drek, the little radio that we do have. It's Drek. Don't get me going on the television stations either. But my point is you have a variety. You have the ability now, obviously via the computer, your phones, to connect to a news talk outlet if your heart desires. Now, today I wanted to make a larger point on Saturday, and I might be a very bit more expansive. If I go over a little bit, sue me. If I don't, whatever. You're all here. You like watching me for the most part. And even if you don't, hey, look, it's my show. Stick around. If you don't want to stick around, then leave. Go watch, MSNBC or whatever, CNN. You can talk about old shit. But the larger point I wanted to make is and the Yankees are in town. And I know a lot of the people are, it's a culture clash. San Francisco, the Bay Area versus New York. And, I watched the game on Friday night, which was really secondary. But everything that New York, the Yankees, I used to hate the Yankees like everybody else. Remember the old phrase, rooting for the Yankees is like rooting for IBM. Remember that and all that. So I'm watching the game, and again, that's secondary. Um, but even like New York versus San Francisco, it shouldn't even be in the same equation, the same conversation, because the Bay Area used to be. I love the Bay Area, right? And we would even compare cultures and restaurants. Remember San Francisco when it was a destination restaurant place? Still is, but nothing like it used to be, right? And I was thinking to myself, and I'm watching the New York game, right? And I know a few of the New York people. In fact, I know very well a guy by the name of Ricky Ricardo, the Spanish language broadcaster for the Yankees, and he came on this trip uh, when the Yankees were in San Diego and they were in Anaheim, and he flew back to New York. That should tell you what he thinks of San Francisco these days. But any event, I'm that little side shot there. And it's not even close now, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, the Bay Area used to be a place that had oomph and style and pizzazz and all that. And nowadays, it's like the whole New York versus San Francisco debate and all that. Look, I'm here, and my relatives grew up in New York. My mother was from Brooklyn, right? I love New York. I love visiting there. Haven't been there in a while. Everything's changed. Everything's changed here. But when it comes to culture and media and entertainment, all that stuff, it's not even close. It's not even close. You have posers here. I've said it before. I love that word. Posers versus the real deal. And this is not one of those bash the Bay Area, everybody loves New York kind of a thing, because New York's changed. It's not the same. Nothing is the same. Media, culture, all that. But it's still the top dog. It's still the top enchilada, New York is. The baseball team, the great uniforms. I love the New York Yankee, especially the road uniform when it has the New York, the block letters, and they have the big bold numbers and the blue and the gray. It's a complete style contrast. And everything about New York in that regard. The broadcasters, they're all A-rate. And some of them I'm not crazy about. Susan Waldman, but she's a part of New York culture and all that. Michael Kay, who does the cable broadcasts for the Yes Network and all that. I'm going back and forth. I'm making a smaller point versus a larger point. But the Giants, they don't think much of their broadcast product. They have schleppers on. They have a few good people. I don't want to say great. They got a Hall of Famer in John Miller, but he's overrated now, and he takes off many series. He doesn't work various series. He won't be working. For example, he's not going to be working on Monday when they travel. Most certainly when they go to Texas after Arizona. Miller picks and chooses. But at least, okay, that's their one guy. Most of the other broadcasts for the Giants are not very good. They're D-listers, as I call them. It's really kind of a their style versus the Yankees, you know, culture, the Bay Area used to be, and look, used to be great. Everything's changed, but it's still New York. It's still, the top of the list and the king of the hill. They are a number one. It's not even, as I said, it's not even you put them in the same equation, it's not even close. It's like, one sec. It's like look, I'm here, like many of you, we love the weather. Although lately, last years, we've been getting a lot of these really engrossing for the wrong reason heat waves, and sometimes it gets cold and all that. But by and large, we love the Bay Area, the weather, the fog, ocean, desert, not that far from driving distance, uh, snow and Tahoe and all that. I get all that. And that's why we're all here. I love it. The people, oh my God, it sucks beyond all fathoms of reality. Everybody's uptight here. New York, they just take it with a grain of salt, and they get it. I mean, look, they're the number one market and all that. But God, San Francisco used to be in its own little world, a good world. Great restaurants, of course, and the people and the culture. And we didn't take ourselves so seriously. We understood our own designation, our own situation. Didn't go off on who was better, who was worse. That's what I hate about the Bay Area too. Most specifically, San Francisco versus LA. Why is this hatred for LA? They know they're not San Francisco, LA. Do they make a big fuss about we hate San Francisco? No, not at all. Yet San Francisco makes this big screaming, "Oh, we beat LA, beat up," which is, by the way, very, very original. LA is there. And by the way, I was down in LA about a month ago. It's cool. They got real legitimate restaurants. They've got culture. They've got a downtown that used to be full of hobos and the homeless and all that stuff. It's pretty nice. It is spread out. You can walk around. There's difficulties like everywhere else in urban America, but it's cool. It's kind of like a southern New York in a way, but it's more spread out in the freeways. But they've got culture. San Francisco is a little sleepy town now. It's not that wonderful on Market Street or near the Embarcadero, which used to be the cool area, right? Starbucks are closing. Little hole in the wall places are closing. You go there on the weekend now. Talk about fearing for your life or not being wanting to be around an area that is, quite frankly, anxious. You're anxious. So all this Ooh, we're not LA, we're beautiful San Francisco. We're cosmopolitan. We have women here who are protective of women. What is the fucking deal about that, too? This whole thing. That's what area where I agree with Bill Maher. This is the hotbed of the cancel culture. Every goddamn thing you do. Dare you try to be funny? Dare you try to show some degree of humility and humbleness, considering the fucked up world that we have? Don't compare yourself to San Francisco or LA or whatever. Yeah, there's some really cool, decent spots around the Bay Area, San Francisco included, but not so much anymore. Fuck. Again, Market Street, even areas in the so called cool zones like North Beach or the Marina. There's boarded up buildings there now, too. And in North Beach, I know a very, very, very popular restaurant in North Beach. They're very original, if you know what I mean. Well, that was a little hint. They used to serve lunch every day, even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now, guess what, folks? They don't serve lunch anymore. They serve dinner. They open up at 4 o'clock. What does that tell you? It's not only that business is down, it ain't great doing business these days in San Francisco. But beyond that, San Francisco is a little sleepy town. It is not the Yankees, it's the Giants. I'm not anti Giants. I grew up as an A's fan. I'm no longer a fan of that bombastic bullshit team. So I'm about as completely no dog in the fight as you can get. But there is no comparison between San Francisco and New York and even LA. No comparison. Culture, restaurants, media. Fuck, look at our media in San Francisco. It's a joke. We have banality. We have mayonnaise and mustard. Mayonnaise and mustard. We have alfalfa and Melba toast. And that's right. I am putting our culture, our media culture down here. There's nothing like New York culture. There's nothing like LA culture for that matter. They've got news talk in LA even. It's not the same as it used to be, but at least it's there. New York, I talked about WABC and WOR and the various jazz stations and music stations. But it's nothing like it used to be. Of course not. But at least there's alternatives. Los Angeles too. San Francisco? Are you kidding me? No, you're not. This is not a bash the Bay Area, bash San Francisco broadcast, even though it comes off as such. It's a redefinement. It's an acknowledgement of how San Francisco people kiss themselves up as this sort of bastion of good and decency, and we're number one. No, you're not. You're not even close to being number 10. You've disgruntled yourself. You've demeaned yourself. Bay Area, San Francisco. I have a friend who lives in San Jose. The San Jose culture is a lot more engrossing than downtown San Francisco. What is downtown San Francisco anymore? You got all these buildings that are mostly empty. You've got these areas near Market Street, which frankly, I wouldn't take my worst enemy to these days. You got all this shit. It's dirty. The city used to be clean. It's dirty. It's dirty. There used to be areas where you can go and enjoy and sit in a park and do whatever you wanted to do, smoke a cigar, maybe smoke your own version of what you like. I'm not crazy about that, but whatever. I'm no, priss. Do what you want to do. Get a good cup of coffee. Nowadays, even to get a good cup of coffee in North Beach, you can't find a parking spot. Okay, let's say you live close by. You take BART. That's an experience I want to be around these days, being on BART. Oh, dear Lord. But then you get to San Francisco. And then what? You see walking around the BART station these days or any down by Market Street, Embarcadero, up near the Safeway? God damn. And the culture? Fuck, everything's shutting down. Everything. And if you do find a decent restaurant, you order a cup of coffee and a little, hoagie or a Danish, that's about $1,000, something like that. The people, they're not that nice. They're angry. Or they're looking at you like, I'm sitting around, have a cup of coffee one day, and there's this lady. She's cool. She's got her, stupid phone and she's looking down with her, glasses and all that. I'm just saying hi. And she looks at me like I was some hoodlum. I'm opening myself up to, a lot of shit there, but whatever. Bring it on. I don't give a shit anymore, frankly. I don't. But the culture, they still have newspapers in New York. Here, we don't have newspaper. We have high school dailies with an apology to the high school people. They have columnists there. They have a variety. And not just New York, San Francisco, Philly, Chicago, San Diego, LA. Here, Baggerly, Andy Baggerly, the guy that's on Jeopardy or whatever he was, extra bags. Yeah, bags of what? Bullshit. Tim Kawakami, whatever the hell his name is, that's supposed to be journalism, sports. My God. They have sports talk radio in New York, real sports talk radio in New York. Yes, LA too. LA too. San Francisco, we have breadcrumbs. We have nothings. We have Shitsville. The Yankees in great uniforms and realness and crisp. We have posers. This is the land, should be called the land of posers. Got no media eclecticity anymore. We don't even have any basic shit anymore. We have Drek. Drek, 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 Drek. Not Shrek. Drek. It's not even close. Our media, broadcasters, columnists, restaurants, lovemaking. Hell, the women here, they're very, very banal. I'm not saying all of them. Even the people that have made their income, have made their livelihood based on satire, comedy, irreverency, opinions. Have you seen the Physical Chronicle lately? It's like this. Nobody reads the Chronicle anymore. Hell, even when papers were fashionable to actually read a newspaper, nobody reads the Chronicle anymore. Where do you read? There's no columnists left. Nothing. We have no culture. Our television stations are the shits. The people who work there, by and large, are the shits. There's a few good anchors, but that's about it. Disney. Disney. Stick to amusement parks. Don't buy television stations. Have you seen Channel 7 KGO lately? Oh, isn't that a cornucopia of ideas? Building a better Bay Area, my ass. You're building a better element of mediocrity. Mediocrity. What a joke. The Yankees have history. They have class. I grew up watching the A's, the Oakland A's. So, from a sports metaphor, I never really was into the whole Yankees thing. I understand now, just watching the game last night. They couldn't even sell out, by the way, the Yankees game last night for all this, all brouhaha about the Yankees and all that. I think half the crowd was New York Yankees anyway. But the uniforms, the whole degree of their culture, their broadcasters, their legion of writers who not travel with the team, but they cover the team. San Francisco, you're posers. Bay Area, New York, Los Angeles. I mentioned the other cities. It's a joke now. It's been a joke for a long time. I'm just kind of looking at it and labeling it for what it's worth. Don't go off and say how special we are. We've got weather. We've got location in terms of getting out and breathing fresh air and wanting to go to the ocean. I mean, they've got certain things in New York, but they don't have fog. They don't have the sort of eclecticness of the of how can I put this? Well, you know what I mean. When I talk about the fog and the ocean and all that, it's immediate. It's right there. New York, you got to kind of meander a little bit. LA doesn't have fog. It's got grayness. In fact, June gloom is coming. Welcome to June. But my point, my overall last larger point, is the fact that we have become accustomed to this sort of hedonistic view that we're number one, and we are not. We are far from it. Those of you right now shaking your head, get used to reality. I'm sorry to bring you into attune to 2024. Those of you who happen to be agreeing with me, you know what I'm talking about. None of these idiots, none of these little posers who write, they're not going to talk about it because it would disrupt their little bubble world. I'm giving you reality. You understand that. I'll see you later. And oh, by the way, please make a contribution to Rich Lieberman here. Please. Thank you all who do contribute. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and have a great Saturday.